you think a little bit further for this part. In the future, maybe we talk again, but it's very important for you to think now. The brain. The brain constructed by two hemispheres. There's a front side of the brain, this is your third eyes. The sideway, you look at the brain, is like this structure. Okay? This is where picture the grand pineal glands. Okay. We have a picture in the slide. Then you take a look at the brain. From this slide, you're going to see the structure of the brain, but you see only half of them. Because between this is half, the other half on this side. So if you look at here, there's in the center, this is a center area. Okay. So from here, this you can see this is a spinal cord. Actually, this you can see the pineal gland, pituitary gland here. Pineal gland, pituitary gland on this area. This is the front side. So from the brain structure, you can easily see this is the third eyes, and this is the front. Remember, in 1960s, the scientists discovered an important things. The important thing is the brain and the brain communicate with each other. Because at that time, they discovered, for example, a lot of twins. The twins, amazing, you can separate them far apart. You can punch one person, the other person say, ouch. That means the brain communicates. They discover this kind of phenomenon also existing between mother and children often. Because this reason they start understand, they start researching about the brain, they realize the brain have a brain wave. It's amazing is that these two hemispheres in the center actually is empty. When it's empty, the energy trapped there. When the energy trapped here, it becomes generally like an energy chamber. So this energy chamber produces resonance. So that means every brain can be acting like a radio station. Another brain, as long as you tune into the right frequency, you can receive the information. Actually, animals have that capability. Humans have that capability. It's a way of telepathy, to communicate with each other. The question, how do we tune to each other? We lack of this practice for a long time already. But eventually this exists. So this is the reason in 1960, they generated a machine called EEG. That's a long words I cannot remember because my Chinglish is so bad. So in this machine, you start realize, remember this place in Chinese called spiritual valley. If you look at Tao Te Ching, chapter 16, they talk about spiritual valley because they talk about spirit reside in this area. Remember, Tao Te Ching was written 2,400 years ago. It's already so much ahead of the Western science to understand. Then not only that, they recognize the spirit reside in this valley. And this one corresponds, this one echo with the nature. That's why a lot of the animals still can feel the nature energy change, but human cannot already because it comes from this one. This is very important if you understand embryonic breathing. From these machines, they test the body's function, the brain's thinking. Okay, I just give you very rough. You can see it in the book, or you can even check it in the EEG, the testing result. There's alpha wave, beta, theta, and delta. Amazing, huh? When you are awake, the situation you are now, you can see this inside there's 18 peak. That means frequency is 18. Pass your brain, that means you are wide awake now. It's amazing. That means a lot of distortions. This one called amplitude. The intensity of the wave proportional to amplitude square. You learn physics, you understand that. That means this amplitude is not that big. Okay, now when you go to alpha, that means you can become relaxed. When you start relax, you will realize the same 1 second. This one go to 9 to 12. Nine to 12, that means you can see frequency going down, you can see amplitude increased. That means once you relax, you can concentrate better. That means your thinking is more powerful. I don't know if you have that experience. The more you get nervous, the worse your concentration is. That's why you have to relax. Once you get relaxed, the third stage, theta. When you go to theta, amazing. This one, go to 5 to 7. On 5 to 7, you can see amplitude even increase. This one called drowsy state. That means semi-sleeping state. I don't know, you have that feeling sometime before you get sleep or right after you wake up. Look at you sleeping, you are not sleeping, but you are not sleeping, but you are sleeping. Your conscious mind is still there, but at the same time, you are in sleeping. That's the state. It's powerful. It's 5 to 7. That's when you can see concentration is much, much higher than all the other two. At the same time, amplitude even increase much higher. Now, a lot of you will wonder, what is delta? Delta, this one you can see, is 1 to 2. This one is sleeping state. Okay, that one, when you are in sleeping state, unfortunately, your mind is not there to direct, to control. That means the general is not there to control the body's function. But in the meditation, which one you want? You want beta? Of course not. So you have to relax first. That's become a very important part of a meditation. How do you lead your body's energy or body situation from this state to this state? After that, go to this state. That's why you have to relax first. That's why in Chinese talk about how do you lead this one to this state? Because you have to conquer, or you have to control your emotional mind. Emotional mind like a monkey. How you tame the monkey? You need banana. Yeah. What's a banana? Chinese talk about breathing. So breathing is banana. So that means in the nighttime you cannot sleep because that's the way you measure for the sleeping state. So in order for you to sleep, a lot of people just mind get disturbed. As long as you concentrate with the deep breathing, by no time you fall asleep. Okay, so the breathing is banana. So from here lead you to the state. This is the state you want. It's the theta. That's why in the embryonic breathing, all the meditation, they ask you to reach the state called semi-sleeping state. That's why in the Tao Te Ching say, you are there, you are not there. You are not there, but you are there. In that kind of state, your subconscious mind awakening. Your conscious mind sees down activities. That's the time you can sense of the energy. This is the same state as the hypnosis. You know, from the scientists today, they prove that when people have been hypnotized, they can sense, they can understand a lot of things. When they are awake, they cannot understand. Because the mind is the highly concentrated states. But again, they want control by outside, not by themselves. But for meditation, no, you control yourself. Okay? Can you reach that state? That's a very important concept. So because of the reason you can see the mind is so powerful, can you develop this mind? Again, how much we understand the mind? Remember, year 2000, we decode the human genetic code. It's 100% decoded now. We can change the body structure because you know body's blueprint. But even though the scientists recognize one fact, the fact how much we understand the brain function. What they said? 30%? Not even 12%. If the scientists recognize we understand only 12% of brain function, even we already decode the genetic code, because remember, that's a physical. But it's function. There's function how you interpret. How scientists interpret, we call spirit. One way they accept is existence of a spirit. The other way they denied it. It's very funny. That's because it's unknown. Because we have not break through that barrier yet. Enter called spiritual science. All the spiritual science all come in the mystery. It's all origin from religion's belief in the past. Can science interpret that we call spirit? So this mind, so far, we don't know. How much we know, we don't know. That's why the Tao Te Ching, I don't know how many read Tao Te Ching. What's the first chapter, the first sentence? They say, the Tao, when you talk about it, it's not Tao anymore. Because once you talk about it, remember Tao is a nature. It's all the nature existing. When you talk about it, use human mind to interpret the Tao. How can this mind interpret the Tao, the great nature? We understand even our brain function only 12%. How can you understand the great nature? No, there are many things we cannot interpret, we cannot understand yet. Because that's the reason they say 道可道非常道. That means those Dao you can talk about is no more Dao. So think about it. Like what you think? This brain. Once you are born, your mind is still connected with nature. Then once you're born, then you start understanding the environment. You've been educated, or what we call brainwashed. You've been brainwashed. This is called white. This is called black. Then nature doesn't define that. Nature doesn't tell you this is white, this is black. It's a human, we define that. We start brainwash people what's called sadness, what's called happiness, what's a love, what's a hate, what's a dignity, what's a glory. How many people die in the glory? How many people die because of dignity? Because we created. We create the entire human matrix. Then we struggle inside emotionally, and slowly we separate from the Tao, from the nature. In this case, how can we use this metric mind to judge nature? You can't. That's why the Tao Te Ching, first chapter, first sentence, they say, Tao. When you talk about, it's not more Tao, it's not Tao. Those can be named, it's not real name. Because they don't give you a name. It's we define the name. See, that's become human society because we are away from the Tao. So because the reason this mind is mystery, we still don't know yet. Okay. So, but this mind is so powerful because this mind is the biggest power because it controls entire body's energy. So this become exercise and become mind. From here, now you can see, I want to define what is the Nei Dan, what's the White Dan. If you look at Chinese Qigong, they define it's called Nei Dan. The other one called White Dan. Nei Dan is called internal elixir. White Dan called external elixir. You know what the elixir mean? Elixir is a Western terminology. In the Europe, in the 16th, 17th century, I guess, at that time the chemists, they tried to purify some chemical can extend your life. They call elixir. The Chinese, the same thing. The Taoists for 2,000 years, they are searching for the herb that can extend your life. They call elixir. They call Dan. But later they realized this elixir exists in the body. Eventually, that's what we call Qi. So that's why I call Dan. So internal elixir, external elixir, how do we define that? Okay, in this case, you have to recognize the point here. Remember, this brain and this brain connected by spinal cord. When this is a central inner system, remember, in the West society, you call this what? Called central nerve system. But in Chinese Qigong, they call central Qi system. This is two systems. This system connected by two polarities. It's a dipole. It's two polarities. Then they communicate with each other through the spinal cord. Chinese say through Chongmai, as we explained earlier. So that means it's a central energy. If those people, you can develop the energy so strong in this central energy, then from this central energy spread outwards. That means I build up the strong energy from here and spread outwards to the arm, to the leg, to the surface skin. This one we call internal elixir. But for the exercise, through the arms you exercise, you build potential difference. That's the Qi nourishing inwards from outside in. This is inside out, this one, outside in. This is called external elixir. So you can see, physical exercise, usually external elixir. Still meditation, usually internal elixir. But of course, it's not as simple as that. Because Chinese meditation is very different from the Western meditation. Just keep mind calm and peaceful. That one to Chinese only scholar Qigong. You talk about deeper aspect of Qigong. This mind heavily involved to produce the Qi and to direct it, to nourish the physical body, to enlighten your brain. Okay. Then, now you can see the Qigong talk about exercise, Qigong talk about mind. What's the number 3? You can think of. All right away say, okay, qi, because qi is constructed by air and by the rice. Okay, so it's a food and plus air, oxygen. This one I want to add it plus herbs. That's why because the Chinese discover there are many herbs. This herb can produce more qi than others, remember. What you eat, what you are. Remember, the glucose changes the qi, but how about some other material that can change, can convert into qi more efficient and more quantity than the others? For example, ginseng. In Chinese, they discovered there are many herbs. They can produce more qi than others. But those kind of qi, you have to take in the right time. You take a wrong time, it can make the body too young to energize. For example, red ginseng. Red ginseng, you cannot take in summertime. It make your body too hot, too young, especially those people with high blood pressure. You say, okay, I want to take ginseng, it can cause problem. See? So you have to see. So that's me become very important, big field of Chinese herb. How many herbs Chinese discover after about 3,000-4,000 of history? Compare with the Indians. Indians, they have a herb. You count it probably 100. Chinese, the herb list, you can see there are thousands of them. So that's why the reason today you can see all those herbs is affect the body's properties, affect the body's qi circulation. Okay, this one I want to add another one. I put the red color because this is bad. Material pollution. A lot of energy, material pollution today existing affect our body as well, but this bad. Okay, now 4. What you can think of number 4? Okay, give you this hint. I always think, yeah, when you watch this DVD or this lesson, listen. It's not say okay, you just listen. Everything before I said it, I want you to start thinking, ponder what I'm going to say. Let's see, you're going to match me. Of course, if you can go beyond me, I'm happy because that's me. You got understanding already. What before you can think of? I give you a hint. You have to sleep in the night. You have to wake up in the morning. When it's full moon, you're more energized. When the low clouds, you're more energized. Now you can think of now. You say, oh, nature. Yeah, that's it. See? Nature. There's the nature's energy constantly influence us all the time. Remember the black spot on the sun? It black out the whole New York City. Go back to 20 years ago, 30 years ago. That's the nature energy. Yeah. So look at that. Low clouds, you're more emotional because energy you're trapped. Because with the low clouds, our body's energy trapped into electric field. In the full moon, the same thing. Because you have the same thing, you talk about werewolf. Chinese, they talk about the same thing. Because of full moon, that's why you adopt the qi, you try to pick up qi from the moons. So this nature, of course, the biggest one you can see is the sun. Because so powerful. The second thing is moon. The third thing is the earth. Remember, Chinese call 3 power. They call san cai. San cai, that means 3 power. What are 3 powers? The first one is heaven. 10, that's heaven. What's heaven? That means all the energy fall upon us from the skies. Includes the moons, includes the sun, includes cosmic energy from other planets, whatever. So this is called heaven. Then the second one called Di is the earth. That's the earth. The third powerful is humans. See, human includes ourselves inside because we want to compare with the earth and heaven because we think we are important. One way we are, the other way we are not. We still kill each other. Okay. So because this reason, there are so many energy, any kind of existing nature energy around us, influence our body energy. Today, I'm sorry, I have to add another inside because this one was not existing 70 years ago, but now it's existing. I call energy pollution. Energy pollution. Now you see, as I explained earlier, now all kind of waves pass through our body, influence our body's function. Okay, you want to read more about this? There's a book written by the same author, Dr. Baker. You're interested about that? Read about this. They're called cross current. Inside